What's going on, guys? Welcome to another vlog. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about how I made a $20,000 mistake, and I'm also going to teach you guys how to avoid it. First thing is first, we have a meeting with Kyle from Contractor Roofing. We're actually going to be meeting with him and his team. We've been helping him build systems and processes just like we do with many other contractors, but for now, let's go ahead and knock that out, and then we'll talk about what was that mistake I made that ended up costing me $20,000. So follow along. Yeah, so that's the biggest thing. I want to see, like, how you guys are running, what you guys are having trouble with, and then from there, then I'll write down everything from Dylan, and then he'll have another call with you guys. I know you a message about some questions. Realistically, you should be closing X amount. Because you set these targets. If you don't, then you burn my fucking leads.
So this is the thing that how I found out. Go visit the customer.
So then let's say I need a new roof. By the time you show up to me, you know the measurements and everything, right?
Yeah.
So why don't you show up with an estimate?
So that's what I did last night, but then when I got there, I found out there was some things that, like, there was 2 layers of shingles, there was this, there was like 3 or 4 different things, but
added on that there.
I could have went and added it on, but I don't write any estimates.
Everybody's closable as long as you go there
with that intention and
and knowing what type of person you have to be. Like, yeah, exactly, dude. That's crazy. You know that I think about. Why the fuck would you put somebody in a schedule
and not fucking sign them?
And then yeah, that too. But also not knowing if they're a right customer or even they shouldn't even be in the calendar. So like this is how the process should go. So now SOP for each one of these things. Like,
yeah,
doesn't matter who's taking on. Even if she's taking on 3 of those things, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Write down an SOP, meaning a checklist for each one of these things that need to happen. Once that happens, you create a loom for every one of them, and then anybody can get it done. That way, we have to hire some. If we're pushing heavy volume, then we can just hire somebody else and tell them, hey, read these instructions, watch this loom, and it's exactly how to fucking do it. No, that's how you start, scaling. All right, guys. So we just left our first meeting. We actually went over a few minutes, but for the people that don't know, we do help a lot of contractors scale their business, whether it's through building systems, whether it's through sales, whatever it is, right? But I also own MDC, Modern Day Contractor. We help, like I said, any contractor of any sort scale their business. It's pretty fun, right? We do help contractors all over the fucking world. It's pretty satisfying watching these guys grow, and we help them not make the same mistakes I made. Yeah, but this particular one, Kyle, yeah, super cool guy. I actually met him at the gym. So he's a local contractor that we're helping. And this guy, he decided to do everything in person because he wants to just have his team heavily involved from the beginning. But we're building, they do very, very well for themselves. It's a pretty unique situation, their story. Revenue is not the problem for them, but he wanted more organization within his company, so we decided to step in and help him build systems and processes for his company. Because he realized, just like all of it, like myself, that it's like, hey, it doesn't matter if you have a $3, $4, $5 million company, if that company can't run without you, it's no good, right? So, he's had a bunch of Zoom calls with my team, my internal team, gathering as much information as possible to be able to help them create the system that they need within their company. So I just came in and sat down with them, making sure that everything is good, and working on a few other things. Now we're down to creating SOPs for every single step of the process, and pretty cool stuff, right? We do have a follow-up meeting after this, but it was a good meeting. It's a good meeting. So we're actually I just spoke to my wife, and I decided we're gonna go shopping for a little bit. Have a couple hours, maybe 2-3 hours to myself, and since that meeting was canceled, so she was out and about. She just hit the gym and she said, you know what, let's go. Why not, right? Why not go shopping really quick? And then the rest of my meetings are gonna be at the office. They're via Zoom, so we'll go ahead and hit that. But right now, let's go ahead and head to the mall and see what we can find. I just think I want to try this one. All right, guys. So we just got done with we did some shopping. Ended up at Target. Did some just quick grocery shopping, stuff we needed. Got some coffee. You guys already know we can't go out without buying some coffee. But right now I'm gonna head back to my home office. It's about 1 o'clock already. We have our next meeting is around 2 o'clock, so I'm gonna go home, eat, get ready for this next meeting. This next meeting is actually with our CFO. It's our monthly meeting. I typically have a monthly meeting to go over all of our numbers for landscaping experts to make sure that everything is good. I'm going to tell you guys, if one thing I do regret is not doing that sooner. I wish I would have done it from day one. Even if obviously at the beginning you don't have enough funds to hire a CFO, whether it's outsourced, in-house, whatever it is. I wish run those numbers at least by yourself, have those meetings by yourself, but it's setting that time aside is super, super crucial, right? That way we're not running the business off of just emotion or how we think financials are, or just no guessing. I will tell you that is one of the biggest things has helped me sleep better at night, because even if it's bad, right? Even if it's bad, I guess just the more you avoid things, the more unknowns you leave on the table. It's just the more weight you have to carry. If they come back and give us bad news, then we simply, like, there's a fix for everything, right? And so, like, just simply go back to the drawing board, figure out, okay, what are we gonna do to make it happen, right? To fix it, whatever's wrong. Did we not profit this month? Why? Why is cash flow, not the best right now? Blah blah blah, whatever the case may be. So yeah, we're gonna have that. It's an hour meeting, and then after that we have an onboarding meeting for MDC. So for the people that are watching and don't know, like I said earlier in the video, I do we have a private community in school, um, where we help contractors scale their business. And then when you pay to get into the community, what we found that works best is to have an onboarding call with myself. So you get a one-on-one call with me, and I give you a custom roadmap, so that way you know where to start. That way you know what to take action on as soon as you get into the private group. That way you don't have all this information thrown at you. So, yeah. So I have an onboarding call today. Shortly after that, we have soccer practice. I do coach my son's soccer, so we got soccer practice, and that takes us all the way up until like 7 p.m. And after that, you guys already know the drill. Well, you guys actually might not. I'd have a non-negotiable there by 8, and I do have to thank my wife for that, because obviously, with the kids, it's not easy, right? So it's pretty much a team effort. We try to wind down by 8:30 p.m., 9 o'clock the latest, to be able to fall asleep by 9:30, 10 o'clock maybe. Little curveball, like I said, one of our meetings got canceled, which I didn't really mind. It is what it is. But I got to go spend some time with my wife, so it ended up even working out even better. But funny thing is, she had asked to hang out this morning, and I said no, I got a busy day. And funny thing how things work out. As soon as she asked and I said no, I got a text from the person I was having the meeting with. Her, like, yeah, an emergency came up. We're gonna have to cancel. And I was like, well, there you go. We can actually we can hang out. All right, guys. So now it's time to talk about the $20,000 mistake, and I'm going to tell you guys how I fixed it and how what I'm doing to prevent it. Right? It was about 6 months ago. We installed all of these shrubs, and we don't anything that's alive, whether it's sod, trees, we don't give any warranty. Up until this point, we haven't had any issues like this. We haven't had anything like that. So I made the mistake of letting the homeowner know, hey, we're going to put these trees in. Keep in mind that there is no warranty. The nurseries that we're buying them from, they're not giving us any warranty. Anything that's alive, whether it's sod, whether it's plants, we can't guarantee it, because as long as it's watered properly, it's not going to be replaced. It's not going to die, right? And the homeowner, they were okay with it. Everything was good. I made the mistake of taking their word for it. Fast forward 6 months, we get a picture saying that all of these trees are dead. Now, I verbally reminded the customer of the agreement we had, and at that point, we're going back and forth, and it's like it's not worth it, right? It's not if we didn't have anything in writing. There's nothing we can say, nothing we can do. So as an owner, in wanting to keep your reputation clean as I have been for the past 20 years, we have to eat it up. So and it ended up between labor and replacing these trees, it ended up costing us $20,000, probably a little bit more. I think I stopped looking at the number after 20,000. Now, what are we doing to prevent it now? What can you do that's watching this to prevent it? So we ended up coming up with something we should have done a long time ago. Don't quote me on the name of the form, like a release form, right? It's a form that even after verbally reminding these customers, if these plants die, we are not responsible. Whether anything alive, whether it's sod, whether it's plants, whatever it is, that we are not liable for them because we get no warranty. That as long as they're properly maintained, there should be no reason why these plants or sod should die. So that way, if and when it does happen, they have that form that is very, very clear that we do not take responsibility for that, because as soon as we hand over this job and as soon as they sign off on this form, that's on them. That's what we did to fix it. And we've installed a lot of plants, a lot of sod, and I'm here to tell you from using it in the last few months, it's already helped us. So yeah, like I said, it was a big mistake. It ended up costing me it took me $20,000 to make the time to have our team come up with a form like that. So if you're watching this and you do installs, whether it's softscape, hardscape, whatever it is, make sure to do everything in your power, to protect yourself from getting into these situations. Like I said, don't let it cost you thousands before you go and fix it. So yeah, guys, hope that like I said, all of these videos, and actually majority of these videos are here for situations like this, for you guys to learn from my mistakes and not make the same mistakes. And hopefully, like I said, you get to use your time, your brain power, and other things such as growing your company, not making these simple mistakes that all of us can make. So hope you learned from this. And I'm only about 2 minutes away from my next call. Like I said, this is our call with our CFO to run over our numbers. But I'm gonna try to see if I can get you guys. I can record some of this call. But other than that, see you guys here in the next clip. And like I said, learn from my mistakes. We had a good amount of growth a couple of years ago, but then we grew too fast, and I wasn't really. Most of the meetings with Mike was just like slowing down the growth. And slowing down. It was purely just waking up, growth, and then just the bottom line was shit. So like this whole year,
all of a sudden you're way too big, and you're like, well,
yeah.
I was making more money when I was smaller. Why am I doing all this?
Yeah. My construction company, I run it from home, and not even that, right? I knew I had something, right? But it's more like now it's not a hobby. Like now I need
you have to get serious.
Yeah, like I for that company, for that side, I have a full production team, which is. It was me and my dad and my mom doing side jobs at the beginning, and then I took on and registered the company at 15, and then I took over and then just scaled it from there. So when it was me, him, and my mom, it was just mulch jobs. And all right, brother, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, brother. So tell me, I was just gathering some of the information. Tell me a little more about your business, where you're from, and all that stuff. All right, guys, another successful day. It's around 5:30 p.m. We're done for the day. We just got done with our MDC onboarding call. He's super excited. I'm super excited to see him grow. But other than that, if you made it to this point of this video, I really appreciate you. Also, drop in the comments, what else do you guys want to see? I'll be more than happy to put it in the video for you guys. Other than that, I appreciate you guys. Comment, like, and subscribe. We'll see you guys in the next one.